Imagine you're a 100% straight-laced nerd who hates pointless fights and just wants to study, and out of nowhere, you end up winning the heart of an extremely muscular girl with an insane thirst for battle. Well, at least that's what we thought, because even though she beats up every bully in sight, she turns into the cutest thing on earth whenever she's with the protagonist. And without wasting any time, we start this story by meeting Basara, the strongest creature to ever exist, undefeated in every fight she's ever been in, and the very first word she spoke in her life was fight. Whenever she steps into a battle, she basically turns into a berserker monster. But for some reason, she ends up falling in love with Yuki, who is the complete opposite of her. He's just a fragile, harmless boy. One day, Yuki stepped in front of someone to protect a classmate from getting a fist to the face. But for a reason not even God could explain, Basara thought Yuki did that to protect her. And from that day on, she began following Yuki every single day. And every time they walked together, someone would show up wanting to fight her. Basically like Basara had become Yuki's Pokemon. And well, judging by the scenes we get, I think you can perfectly imagine how every one of those fights ended. Even after literally beating people up right in front of the protagonist, Basara would still look at Yuki with those sparkling, love-struck eyes. And to stop Basara from sending someone to the grave, Yuki holds her fist to prevent the final blow. There's just one problem. This only makes her fall even more in love with him. But hey, the strategy kinda worked. As long as he's holding her hand, she won't fight. Then, on another day on their way to school, Yuki notices Basara's stomach is stained with blood. But she can't really see it herself, because, well, there are two big things blocking her field of vision all the way down to her own abs. So, being the gentleman he is, Yuki decides to clean it for her. There's just one small detail. Not only does Basara have a ridiculously muscular body, just like a pro bodybuilder, but when Yuki looks up, he gets a very privileged view, if you know what I mean. And this makes Basara react all shy and cute, because she realizes Yuki sees her as a girl, not just a muscle monster. But then a tough guy shows up, wanting to defeat Basara to become the most famous fighter in the neighborhood. So to stop her from fighting, Yuki grabs both of her hands. But since she could still fight using her legs, he uses more strength, loses balance, and falls on top of her, and they end up kissing by accident. Even after trying his absolute best to explain the situation, there was no possible way to make it sound logical. And since they were late for school, they just moved on. Later, Yuki finally manages to tell her it was just an accident, and that he didn't mean to take advantage of her. And right as Basara was about to say she didn't think it was bad at all, the teacher shows up. But Yuki thinks it's another crazy person trying to fight Basara, so he pulls her into a locker with him. And once again, they end up way too close, making the misunderstanding even worse. But instead of getting angry, Basara gets as happy as a child receiving chocolate. Yuki, being clueless, thinks she's about to enter berserker mode and hugs her to restrain her, which makes them produce some questionable sounds. The teacher, hearing all of it, thinks it's some kind of psycho ghost and runs away, terrified. In the end, it turns into another wholesome moment, and Basara once again doesn't hit anyone. But the good moments end right here, because since Yuki spends a lot of time with Basara, one of the guys she beat up decides to kidnap him to use as bait to finally end Basara once and for all. He takes Yuki to an abandoned building filled with over 20 fighters inside. It should be absolutely impossible for Basara to break in, defeat everyone, and leave alive. But nope. Basara enters with an insane aura, wipes everyone out like they were nothing, and even while acting like a monster, she still runs to Yuki like a cute girl who just wants to save the boy she loves. She feels guilty that Yuki went through all that because of her. But Yuki tells her that just seeing her safe makes him happy. Basara gets so excited that when she hugs him, two very soft weapons end up right in his face. Then she declares she's never letting Yuki go again, and she'll kill anyone who tries to touch her beloved. Since he doesn't want her to murder anyone, mainly because that would land her in prison, Yuki says he will take care of her, so she won't ever need to fight again. And of course that makes our Berserker Queen fall even harder for him. And that's how we end this funny, chaotic, and romantic story on this humble channel.